Kate, tell me a little bit about yourself as a coach.
Hi everyone. So I'm Kate. I'm a nutritionist, holistic coach, and yoga teacher. And I use holistic approach to help people lose weight in a healthy and sustainable way. Also create healthy habits and to get rid of the cravings. Those are, by the way, three things that I've been working on myself before I became a coach. So now having all that experience and knowledge, I help others to achieve their health goals.
You just blanked for a second. It's early. We'll figure it out together. It's a good thing that we have the magic of editing. So it sounds like your journey started with the work that you did for yourself. What did you do before you got into coaching?
I used to be a UI UX designer and I work in the office in a little cubicle, let's call it that way. It's, I've been having a lot of work and I've been having a lot of fun with it. But as soon as I became a freelance, I realized that my health and my life became a mess because instead of working in the morning, having a nice routine like I have with the office does have some good positive things. I start realizing that I work at night, that I skipping meals, skipping breakfast, and I eat late night, and I've been like snacking all day instead of having the proper meals. I realize that I'm gaining weight, and I don't feel that energetic anymore, and I have like my skin gets worse, and that's where I realized that also the stress level of my life became crazy high and to the point when I started having panic attacks. And at that moment, I realized that my life is really terrible when in any point. And I started searching for the methods. I was searching for holistic, spiritual ways, for scientific proofs ways, and I've been trying honestly everything possible. I tried more than 100 meditations. I've been trying a lot of techniques, everything that could help me to get out of antidepressants, to get out of the situation that I've been putting myself, honestly. And this is how I found the holistic approach. And in Ukraine, it's not really a thing, you know. It's more from the US, from that side of the world. I've been figuring out that that's really interesting that you can heal yourself, not with pills, not with doctors, but actually with helping every single segment in your life, every single part, and that all gets together and help you in general. So this is how I figured out. I started studying. I spent a lot of money and a lot of money that I've been saving on certain things. And then I was like, okay, I feel like this is my path. And I feel I want to do everything to figure out what is this holistic way and how that works. And then when it started working for me, I start helping others. So I've been doing this for over 5 years. That's it.
Such a beautiful journey. I think for so many people, they hit that breaking point and just, hey, this isn't working, and I don't like the options that have been presented. What am I going to do about it? Especially when you're coming from a society that doesn't have the holistic approach being quite so popularized and you need to do the research for yourself. So, transitioning into coaching, do you use your own journey to inspire your clients?
That's a nice question. Honestly, honestly, I think this is the base. If this is the base for me as the coach, because people come specifically for me because they like something about me, right? We resonate, we vibrate on the same way, or get inspired by certain things. Maybe I heal certain things that they want to heal, and of course, I talk about it on my social media a lot. So pretty much people who come to me already, they understand the past I've been through. And always when I'm coaching, I share my own experience because I think it's really matters. Because we people want to know that the other people had enough courage, enough of something. They have the knowledge to overcome something. And that's really inspiring. Same like I have other people that inspire me during my journey or were inspiring me during my healing path. So of course, yes, I'm sharing that.
When you first started to take control of your own health, what were some of the biggest limiting beliefs that got in the way?
Oh, well, I think a lot of girls or people in general, I don't know, maybe that was in my country, is that we were scared of carbs. It's just, and for me, I'm the person who loves desserts. Like I love sweets since the childhood. But when you're a kid, you spend a lot of energy running around, so you're basically spending all that energy, and it doesn't go to your body, doesn't stay there. Yeah, it doesn't turn into fat. But then when you working in an office all day long, and maybe you're skipping on some workouts, then you still want to eat that same yummy desserts. But it turned into fat really fast. So being scared of eating carbs to not gain weight is been a bit hard. But once I learned how to actually balance my plate, what to prioritize, I could still eat the desserts and not being scared. So yeah, that shifted really well.
So what does it take to balance a plate?
Honestly, what it takes is just a knowledge and understanding that in on our plate we need to have healthy proteins, we need to have carbs, we need to have fiber, we need to have fats, and it's really important to have all those things combined in each meal. The 2 to 3 meals, I don't necessarily say that you have to have 3 meals. Some people eat 4 meals. They have to eat 4 meals because it fits their lifestyle or it fits their routine. Someone says, I need 2 meals. So you need to have as many meals as you eat per day. You need to have them balanced. And then, I call it 80 to 20 rule. So 80% you eat healthy, you balance your food, you balance your life. We're not only talking about food, right? Because it's everything's connected in a holistic life. Then that 20% can be whatever you like, your guilty pleasure. So that's how I usually teach my clients, and they really love that rule. And they discover that actually they want to eat healthy and still enjoy their cravings.
Yeah, I mean, I'll use myself as an example here to fit my goals with the way that I eat and trying to get my macros and my calories. It takes me about 4 meals and a snack every single day. And I get bored of eating that much more than anything else. It's just like, oh, this much healthy food again. And you're right, it's not about subtracting, it's about adding, right? So getting everything balanced, getting in the nutrition that you need. And one of my guilty pleasures is like I have a meal delivery service. I don't cook, I get stuff brought to me. And I will add spicy potato chips to a fair number of those meals. They're perfect and very healthy and everything that you could need except for anything that you want. So it's the food has the 80%. And then it's just adding the little bit to actually make it appealing, right? Like add some texture, add some flavor. And for other people, maybe that's sweets and carbs. But it's having the things that can bring you joy while you're doing the things that you need to do for yourself. Is that right?
Yeah, for sure. One of the biggest problems right now is that we have a lot of processed food, and that processed food has a really enhanced flavors, really intense flavor. And this is really tricky because it brings dopamine. So it's tricking our receptors, and our brain wants more of those. So like it's really hard from getting from the hard processed food to something very plain, like a just plain salad with no spices, just salt and pepper. So it takes a time to transit. And if the person has a lot of cravings or eating a lot of snacks, it takes some time to transit to that balanced plate. But overall, you can still enhance a taste of food when you cook. I'll give you an example. Me and my husband will like Mexican food a lot, so I learned how to cook it. Traditionally, from Ukraine, you don't know how to cook Mexican food. What it takes is actually the spices. Like the spices matter. The way I make potato dips, the way I make chicken, it's all that matters is spices. And spices can be healthy. It doesn't have to have sugar. It doesn't have to have all those, chemicals that they put into chips or whatever. And I think that could be a really good transition path to go to the balance play.
Yeah, absolutely. It's about learning what you actually want and need, right? And like for me as a person, I'll have sensory seeking behavior. So that's why like tactile of the crunchy chips and the spicy food and things like that. Like I sit here and I play with fidget magnets because they are something tactile for me to feel, even as I do this, right? So let's transition back. Early in your story, you said that the major breaking point was panic attacks. How did you get a hold on your panic attacks?
Wow, that was really intense. It's partly connected to having a corona. So I got sick with corona, and then I started realizing something going on with my nervous system. Like I've been having really depressed thoughts, and I would never have them normally. That's when it started, and also because my food was a mess, my schedule was a mess. I was really not happy with my work. I was feeling like I'm lost. I remember the moment when I look at in the mirror and I see myself and I was like, okay, this is not me. This is not who I supposed to be. And I was like, I have to do something about it. And what I did, I actually went to 2 weeks spiritual festival and I had antidepressants with me. And I was like, okay, from now on, I'm gonna throw away one antidepressant out and I'm gonna take a vitamin and I'm gonna revive my brain and say, okay, this is my vitamin. Of course, if you know what antidepressants is, they have a rejection syndrome, which is making you feel like much worse. And all those 2 weeks on a festival, I've been feeling really worse at some point. I was feeling like, okay, I'm about to have a panic attack. And when you think about it, you are gonna have panic attack just because you think you're gonna have panic attack. And that's the crazy part about it. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna trick my brain again because I pretty much know how the brain works, and especially how my brain works. I'm gonna do something crazy, something that my brain does not expect. So they had an African dancing class, and in the middle of that panic attack, I went to dance African dance. And African dance are really intense. So there's a drums and you have to have something in your hand and you dancing like this. And I've been nonstop dancing for like 40 minutes, and someone even record me during. I have the video proof of how I was dancing that. And then I was like, I did not have panic attack, but I could, because it's all about the brain work. And I was like, okay, this is gonna work. This is gonna work. I'm gonna figure out. And then since then, I've been learning a lot about brain. I've been reading a lot of books and attending a lot of events related to that. And then I combine everything together with the food, with the sleep, with the physical activity, with yoga. Since I'm a yoga teacher, I also add yoga last 2 years. So I've been pretty much figure out all this holistic approach, and I really want to share that with the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Like my own journey came more in phases than starting all at once, right? But age 23, I looked in the mirror and I was 199 pounds. And for the people who use metric, that's somewhere in the neighborhood of 92 kilos. I'm currently
Okay.
77 kilos. And I was an alcoholic and I was living on fast food. I was smoking cigarettes and it was just like, this isn't working for me anymore. And I've had stomach problems my whole life, but that was the peak of like just my stomach had massive pain all day, every day. My depression was entirely unregulated. I was just a mess, to put it gently. And the first steps were, okay, well, we need to cut out alcohol. Like, this is not helping. I'm drinking every day. That's not gonna make any of this any better. And from there, I transitioned into quitting smoking cigarettes. And I stopped eating pork and beef for the most part. Beef, I kind of went back and forth with for years just because I knew that those were trigger foods for me. But I didn't actually fully start taking my health like a holistic approach until I was age 27, which is 5 years ago now as well, around the same time as you, I guess. And for me, as a man coming from America, I got diagnosed with low testosterone at age 27. They were going to put me on TRT, which, if you don't know what TRT is, it entirely shuts off your body's testosterone system, and you're just getting store-bought testosterone, and it's a lifelong treatment. Age 27. This is something that men in their 60s normally do. And I just sat down, took a look around, and I was like, if that's something that I have to do, I will do it. But first, I'm going to take this matter into my own hands and genuinely do everything in my power to try and change it first, right? And I did a deep dive into research and I started looking up like what chemicals, especially in Western countries, affect your testosterone. And I am here to tell you it is all of them in everything. It's crazy. Everything from your deodorant to the bottle that your drinking water is in, to the cans that your soda is in, to the any of the processed food. Like it was absolutely mind-boggling of going through my house just throwing away product after product after product after product after product. And I already did like a fair bit of eating okay, but I didn't know what I didn't know. And there was a lot to learn. Now, here I am, 32, living in Asia, so there's a lot less environmental factors here. There is less processed food here. I've been on the same vitamin regimen that I started back then. My testosterone level is almost 3 times what it was 5 years ago. Just,
Wow.
yeah, just by taking control of my health, by eating better, by reducing environmental factors. Like, you can make massive change in your life. Things that doctors told me that I would not be able to change, that I would be on this treatment for life, especially if you're in the US, question anything that a doctor tells you.
Yeah, actually, I always question everything doctors tell me, and not everybody happy about it, but it is my way because what I truly believe is that we are totally in control of our body if we want to. What we need to do is just tell yourself that from now on, I am taking responsibility for my body and I'm going to do everything possible to learn what it is. In our days, we have an open information everywhere. You have YouTube, you have social media. You can use this for your good use. You can use this to get inspired, to learn. I, for example, post a lot of useful information that anybody can use, and it's open space. It's also I think the most important is that to make this agreement with yourself, because of course, creating a motivation for change, it takes some time, and usually, unfortunately, it comes when we're at the rock bottom, So when I hit my rock bottom, when I didn't like my body, when I did not like my job, when I did not like how I look, I was like, okay, it's this, or I have to do something. My I was constantly going to doctors. I was not okay, and unconscious, subconsciously, I felt that this is wrong. This is not how it's supposed to be. And the other problem is that people want a magic pill. They want
Yep.
everything happen magically instead of them. They don't want to work for it. They think that, maybe something's just gonna come to me. But guess what? It's not gonna come. Guys, it's not gonna come if you're not gonna take your own responsibility for your health, for your job, for everything that happens in your life. People don't like when I tell them that everything that you have in your life, it is your fault, no one else. There's no one to blame. Not government, not political, not medical service, nothing. It is all the chain of your certain decisions that you made. And guess what? You can redo them again. If you went to
Yep.
one point, you can go backward and go. When we born, when we babies, we are pure and we are completely open to that everything is possible. And then slowly we start having what? Limited beliefs. So those limited beliefs, this is one of uh, the top points of my approach is that I refine limited beliefs because I do believe that the people, if the person has a deep and strong limited beliefs about the body, it would be really hard to lose weight. In fact, I had a client like that. I had a girl who came to me, she couldn't lose weight, and for some reason she was craving like an over fried food. There's fried food and there's a food that has like a black layer over it. That's what she was craving. So like this is not normal. And when we were going back to her I have a special methods of doing it. It's kind of like a coaching and meditation, something in between. We figured that in the childhood her mom was forcing her to eat healthy. And she had absolutely no way to try McDonald's, to try something unhealthy. She had to eat healthy. And she was craving it so much, and it was prohibited and it was not allowed to do that. When she grew up, she moved out. The moment she moved out from parents, she started eating everything possible, everything.
Yeah.
So So we do need to shift our limited beliefs in order to make changes in our life. And then everything become much easier because all you need to do is just learn information, learn, repeat. And that turns into healthy habit. Day by day, month by month, even in 1 week, you can see results.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like you said, everything in your life is up to you. Like, there will be things that happen outside of your control, but it's your responsibility to take control of that. What are you going to do about it? Plain and simple. Nobody else can do it for you. It's your life. Do you want to outsource your power? And that's something that I'm not trying to call out Americans, but Americans want to sit there and argue about things that they don't have control over whatsoever. They want to talk about how the rich are keeping them poor and this and that. And it's like, I understand that the economic situation there is not great, but are you going to talk about how it's somebody else's fault, or are you going to make changes in your life? Because if you want to talk about it being somebody else's fault, that's fine. You can blame them for the rest of your life. Nothing's going to change. You got to take that ownership. Are you ready to change your life? Are you ready to change your financial situation? Are you ready to change your mindset? Or do you just want to talk about all the reasons that you want to stay in it forever?
Yeah, playing victim is a very common thing. And I think we all do at some point of our lives. But like you said, what has really helped me in your life in my life, and I'm sure it helped in your life as well, is doing a self-coaching, is a self-analyzing what happened in your life. From time to time, let's go that way. From year to year, I analyze my past year. I analyzed what I did there, what I wanted to do, but maybe didn't work out, or what I did, but I didn't plan. And then I also look at what shifted inside me, not only what is outside. And year by year, I'm looking at my life back and I see, okay, I understand that I've been looking at a life like this, and now I'm looking at a life like this. And then in a few years, something else will shift. But when you constantly analyzing yourself to I do analyze myself, current self to previous self. That's all I do. I do not compare myself to other people. I used to, but I don't do it anymore. The same as, and we develop our thinking, then we at some point stop blaming everything or everybody else for what's happening. It actually feels it's gonna be scary at the beginning, but it actually feels amazing to be in control of your own life. To know, okay, so this is decision I'm making, and I'm responsible for that decision. From now on, I make decision to eat a healthy salad every day, at least one. You know, you don't need to make like tremendous changes over the night. This is not how the sustainable and healthy habits works. You just need to start with something small. This is what I always been telling on my social media and to my clients. Start with a glass of water in the morning and see how inside yourself you're gonna feel that you are taking care of yourself. And this feels great. When I've been working in an office, I've been dreaming of start taking care of myself. I did not have any time for anything, not for cooking, not for even thinking about this. And on the weekends, I was just sleep over all that time that I've been not be able to sleep while I'm working. So taking care of yourself feels amazing. Trust me, guys. It's just you need to start with something.
Yeah, absolutely. When you, especially, let's rewind that. Yeah, absolutely. Especially when you have been living an unhealthy lifestyle, when you start making those changes to care for yourself, you feel better pretty quickly. It's strange how when you switch from eating processed foods and having 10 hours of screen time and living an inactive lifestyle to just do 5 minutes of yoga. Just reduce your screen time. Just eat one healthy meal a day. All of a sudden, your body is going to feel a lot better. Your body and your mind are designed to be put under load. They're designed to be put under stress. And you can choose what kind of stress that is. Do you want it to be stress of exercising and eating right, or do you want it to be existential of the things that you're seeing on social media? Does it want to be everything else that's going wrong in your life? When you have that, like, you're always going to feel stressed. You're always going to have problems. Our brains are designed to feel stress and have problems. Like, you don't get to, even if you have no tangible problems in your life, your brain is going to dream up problems. Period. It's how it works. Sorry. Do you want to have the time and take the opportunity to choose the problems that work for you, or do you just want to have the problems that are thrust upon you? Do you want to have stress about stress, or do you want to have stress about the things that are important to you as a person?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree on that. I agree.
If you could delete one nutrition myth from every woman's mind, what would it be?
There is multiple, but I think the fear over the carbs is one thing that is a massive. But I see a lot of positive shifts through nutritionists who are showing that you can absolutely eat potato or bread or pasta, even for the dinner, which I actually do, and still lose weight and still look great. The second thing is this all or nothing approach. You already start mentioning that we don't need to start making changes over one night. We don't need to start doing everything at once. And I do my habit tracking monthly. This is something I've been doing for the last 2 months. Unfortunately, I didn't bring it with me. Usually, I do show it on a podcast. And I show it that I don't do everything perfect. There's days that I skip workout, or there's days when I don't go to sleep at the right time. And this is okay. This is okay to eat dessert sometimes in the evening, or overeat sometimes when someone came over and you order huge pizza. It's absolutely normal. But when you see the changes for the whole month, you understand that it doesn't matter. Those few days doesn't matter at all. What is really matter is those little steps. You keep doing it. You just don't have to be perfect. No one's perfect. There's AI also not perfect. No one is perfect. This life is meant to have ups and downs and fails. We all fail at some things, but then we get up and try again, and that's okay.
Absolutely. It's letting go of that perfectionism idea of I'm on a diet or I'm not, or I'm making changes or I'm not. Giving yourself the compassion and grace necessary to keep going. Because you're right, even if you have pizza one night with your friends late at night or something like that, one night will only derail you if you let it. If you allow yourself to sink into feeling guilty or shameful about something that's you don't need to feel bad about, you can allow it to entirely derail you and send you entirely off course. Or you can just take it as a step in moving forward. You're human. You're not perfect. It's okay. Live your life. Like it's so much of living a healthy lifestyle is not about being perfect. It's honestly about harm reduction and just doing the best that you can. So what's the best that you can do today? And on a day where you feel good and you've got lots going on, then it might be a little easier. And on a day when you feel bad and you don't have as much going on, it might be a little bit harder. But it's up to you to find that balance and do what works for you and the best that you can each day.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Balance, a lot of people scared of the word balance because for them it sounds a bit perfect. But in fact, balance is something your own. You don't have to try to repeat someone else's perfect life. Social media can be good and can be bad, it depending how you look at it. Because Let's say you come to the page of the very famous blogger who's doing a lot of good workouts and healthy habits and everything, but at some point you're like, well, it looks too perfect. I don't know where to start with. And you don't know where this person start from, where this person been on the first place. And sometimes I even scroll down to see some people's story of the growth. And it's really inspiring. And you just need to remember that everyone started from something, from one point, and you can get to anywhere you want, anywhere you set your goals is possible.
Absolutely. It's just about finding the path that works for you. You help women heal emotional eating without willpower. How does that work?
The way my method work is that we start with shifting limited beliefs. So we dive into the root cause of the problem. Let's say there is a cravings for the chocolate, right? And the person wants to lose weight and wants to also get out of the cravings. So we try to understand what is the root cause, when it started. Once we dive into that, usually my clients already understand. They're like, okay, they have this aha moment where they say, oh, in the childhood, I had this thing. Usually limited belief, it is something that you've been reacting very emotionally, or something has been repeatedly repeating all the time, and in that moment the limited belief is creating, right? So for us, we start refining through the coaching, through different methods, rewriting it, and we try to cover it with the physical actions. So we try to work on helping our body, supporting our body, eating more balanced day by day. So I don't suggest my clients to eat healthy right away. I tell them to do one little step, one little shift, and over the time they start enjoying it. They start enjoying to take care of themselves, and they start proving themselves that these limited beliefs are not what they're supposed to believe in. So this is how it's starting, and then after a few months they do it on their own. I teach people how to do it. I don't just, you know, tell them one thing. I tell them the whole system, and then so they can support their own life after coaching.
Yeah, it sounds like your system is non-prescriptive. It's not just, if you go do this, you will lose weight. It really helps people dive into the root cause of what got them into this position and helps them address these things and allow them the space to take the steps to move forward on their own.
Yeah, exactly. My approach is designed to help people and teach them how to help themselves after we finish coaching. I mean, I see a lot of different methods, and some method they just hook you up with the machine. We're gonna do this 1 month marathon of losing weight. Okay, they lose weight in this 1 month. But what happened after? They gain it back again because they don't have a system, because they don't want to count calories. Mostly on all those marathons, or this how we call them, all courses, they give them the menu. They counted calories for that menu already. Okay, in the real life, historically, we don't count calories. How are we supposed to know? Yesterday I was watching a New Zealand girl who moved to the US, and she's also a nutritionist, and she was showing what in the supermarkets they sell. And she showed us, the audience, right, the cookie that has 750 calorie in one cookie, like that. That's a half of my daily value calories that I'm supposed to eat. Half. And you don't know about it. You just look at it, a cookie. Normal cookie would be like, if it's a fake one, up to 200 calories, all right? You just take that cookie, not even thinking about it, but they actually been putting so much there. and you'll be overeating, 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 not with the amount of food, but with the calories. So how the person after those courses is supposed to know what to eat, right? So I'm teaching clients how to balance their plates without accounting calories, just to understanding the portions, proportions, and what's supposed to be on your plate.
I'm still in shock about over 700 calories in one cookie. That's absolutely insane. Processed food in America, and like, we could have an entire separate episode about all of the ways that they hack food in America to make it hyper satisfying. Everything from sonic branding, they brand the sound of opening your snacks. Seriously, sonic
God.
branding. So they like it starts before you even start to eat. The originator of sonic branding of food in America is Rice Krispies cereal, which is Snap Crackle Pop. They got the sound of pouring over the cereal branded, and they got people to associate that brand with this hyper satisfying snack. And then like crunchy foods, soft foods. Anyway, the point is eat real food, people. That's yeah.
Exactly. Eat real food that smells fresh. What I really like here in Thailand is that I order food from farmers, and they bring me like a whole bunch of the different green leaves and fresh vegetables, and you smell it. It smells like nature. And
Yeah,
if
and
you hook up to the processed food, yeah, it does have very intense smell and taste, and then your brain get hooked up on it.
yeah, and again, they're sitting there in labs getting it down from exactly the taste, exactly the texture, exactly the smell, exactly the sound, all of it. It's insane. And like I come from America and I was into fitness in America, and it's hard to buy real food in the US, period. Other than fruits and vegetables, and most of the fruits and vegetables there that you're buying on the shelf have been imported. They've been on the shelf for 6 months. They're treated with chemicals as well. It's not like it's taken a long time to get from where they're at to your shelf. And then you start talking about meat. Most of the meat that you buy, unless you're just buying actual steaks from a butcher shop, like if you're looking at like, I don't eat meat, but if you look at the chicken breasts, most of them have chemicals injected in them. Most of the beef have chemicals injected in them. Like Western countries, it's definitely harder, especially if you don't have the money to go buy from an organic grocer or something like that. At the end of the day, I think that cycles us all the way back around to do the best you can with where you're at. Here in Thailand, it's easier. You can buy direct from farmers. You can just go to a fresh market anywhere and buy whatever you need right there direct, right? But regardless, what are you going to do about it? If you are in a Western country, how can you do the best you can with the opportunities that you have?
So there, I see the two ways related to your question. Is that in one way you have enough money to go to organic store and get all your all meat and everything you need, and another way is you grow it yourself.
Yeah,
Maybe there's a third way, which me and you choose, is to move to another country. Move the country
right.
where it's accessible, where the price is fine, and where you can feel healthy and best of yourself, which I think Thailand gives all of this for us.
Quick shout out to the Royal Project here in Chiang Mai. If you live in Chiang Mai, you can just go there, you buy all organic vegetables, and it's ridiculously cheap. Like it's very, very affordable. It's a government sponsored program. You buy it right off the shelf. I go there, I buy it. It's way cheaper than in the supermarket. But again, if you're not here, then where do you go where things are actually affordable and can work for you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I grew up in Ukraine, and me and my family, we were growing our food. I grew up actually eating a very healthy food. I've been eating what? my grandma was planted while I was just running around. I could just stop by, get few cucumbers, get few apricots, and I could go run around again. And also they were growing their own meat, which was normal. And then when I moved to the capital, to the Kiev, um, this is where I start know what McDonald's is, what is a fast food, how is it not to have time, how is it work too long, and so on and so on. But going back to the healthy routines, I think it's really great that it's trendy now. It's trendy to eat healthy because you see yourself in a good mood, in a good energy. You see a lot of great examples of the vloggers, coaches, and just conscious people in general who
Yeah,
are promoting that lifestyle. And this is great. And honestly, if you want to eat basic healthy, it's still not gonna cost you so much. You don't need to eat fresh berries every day. As long as you have your healthy grains, you have some um, seasonal fruits and vegetables, right? Because those are actually the healthiest one. Those are the ones that have the less pesticides and chemicals. Mm, you can start with that, and that is completely enough. Because if we compare the lifestyle of eating on takeout and on fast food, these are already amazing options.
absolutely. So, how can nervous system regulation lead to weight loss?
Everything is connected in our body, all the hormone system. So I had a pretty interesting case with my client. So we were working on losing weight, and she did not need to lose like much. I think up to 4 kilos she wanted to lose. And whatever we do, she lost like 2 or 3, and then the weight is not going anymore. So it's stopped. And I was like, let's do the test, lab test, and see what's going on. And then that's when we noticed then she had a high cortisol. Because when you have a high cortisol, and she was working 24/7, honestly, she was waking up with her phone, she was going to sleep with her phone nonstop. And she was very responsible for many people. So she was like head of the marketing department. And I say, look, you have high cortisol, you work way too long, your stress level is way too high. And in nutrition, we have a saying, a cortisol belly. So it's your visceral fat that's stored around your belly that is hard to lose because of the high cortisol. So in that case, that healthy diet wouldn't help. What it actually would help is to work on your stress level. So we start implementing meditations, walks, screen off time on the evening, drinking more water, herbal teas, and then eventually it slows down and eventually the weight starts shifting.
The body is just such an interconnected system, right? And at the end of the day, yes, calorie deficit is important, but if you have other chemical imbalances in your body that are untreated, you're not going to be able to make that progress. What do hormones have to do with what do hormones have to do with food cravings and emotional eating?
Everything. Yeah, what really important to understand for everyone is every hormone in your body is connected to another one, and everything is connected to what is your actual actions, what do you do every day. There is two hormones that's specifically responsible for you to feel full or to get hungry. It's a leptin and ghrelin. Those are two hormones. I don't want to be very I don't want to talk very deep nutrition, but what I want to say about these two hormones is they send a signal to your brain, which says, okay, I'm hungry, let's eat something. Let's say, okay, you feel hungry, you go get your meals, you eat. And then you have hormone that says, okay, you're full, you need to stop eat. And some people don't stop. Rather, it's the huge portion, they just want to finish the whole portion. Or let's say you are on a open buffet and there's a lot of food and you're really interested, or it's something that you crave, or you stress, all of those things can make this hormone work in a really bad way. So it sends a signal, you're not stopping. And then he's like, okay, so then she's probably still hungry. And then it stops sending the signals. Now, what's happening after is that you start feeling hungry all the time. Your portion's getting bigger, your stomach is stretching, and also depend on what kind of food you're eating. That's it. That's all it took to make the stool hormone disrupted. And it takes a lot of effort and a lot of actions, but it's very achievable to make them work again. And this is all related to other hormones as well. The results of our actions is always going to show how is our hormonal system works, and the other way around. We start implementing healthy habits day by day. Within a month, you will see results in your hormonal system in your lab test.
Absolutely. It's about the small changes every single day. And within 90 days, you can change most of anything, honestly. Kate, thanks so much for coming on and talking with me today. For people who want to connect with you, what's the best way to do that?
I have a YouTube channel that I'm working on right now and helping a lot with my content. So you can find me there on as a Kate Gunner. Same way is my Instagram, those are two. And as well, I have a cookbook that I created 100 recipes for busy lives. It's a healthy, simple meals that you can do every day to improve your health. And you can find it on my website, kgunner.com.
Perfect. And I'll make sure that there's links in the comment section below.
Yes, and I also have an ebook that I give you as a gift, so you can also find it on the link below.